besties. We gotta talk, child. This Monique will not go away. This what she wanted though, right? You want to come out here and run off at the mouth. We know that everybody don't always agree, but who anticipated, probably not Monique, that her son would come out? Of course she expected all the comedians to respond and DL, and she wants Oprah and Tyler Perry to respond. I told y'all they don't have time for this. They are billionaires. They said, "Girl, you are a thousandaire, and we ain't got time for your foolishness, right?" We ain't even heard from no Lee Daniels. Not that he has anything to say. Who else have we heard from besides DL? Did Tiffany Haddish say anything? Not that we care, girl. This from Media Takeout, child. Comedian Monique's oldest son speaks out, a terrible mom and doesn't take accountability. Child, shout out to her son, but child, you could just listen to her and know that. We still talking about crap from what, 5+ years ago, and she's still talking about it, weighing on it. What was Precious, 2009? We're in 2024 and she's still running off that damn mouth. Let's see, this is as of February the 13th. Today is the 13th, Galentine's Day, child. So I guess this is the kid. Comedian Monique has been talking about everyone else's family except her own. Woo, Lord, Lord, Lord. This is definitely a long time ago. Monique has lost some weight. If you look at this picture and look at her now, she definitely has lost some weight. June 24th show. This is the picture above. Host Monique poses with her son backstage during the third annual BET Awards show at the Kodak Theater, June 24, 2023, in Hollywood, Cali. Okay. Media Takeout learned that yesterday her oldest son, I'm going to need them to get the spell check straight, spoke out and told her fans that Monique was lying about praying to the universe to fix her family. Ooh, Lord, Lord, Lord. She more interested in fixing whatever between Oprah and Tyler than she is with her daggone family. Now listen, her not wanting to be involved with anyone that did anything wrong to her when she was younger, i.e. her brother and anyone that supported it, allegedly whoever that was, I can completely understand that. She got every right. It makes sense. A lot of Negroes, coloreds, black people, ebonies, think that you're just supposed to forgive anybody and everybody just because they related to you. I do not subscribe to that. If somebody did something wrong to you, I don't give a damn who they are. Be done with them. That don't mean you got to talk about them. That don't mean you got to go check for them. You ain't got to go see them there. None of that. But something as egregious as what her brother did to her, and then if/when her parents supported that, I'd be done with all of them too. Now, this her son. So I don't know what's going on here, but we about to find out, child. Anyway, um, according to her son, Mo doesn't want to be his mom, and he doesn't want to be her son either. Mm. He added, "My mother does not take accountability for anything, and the only way she does is for her own interest." I can see that. I can see that. The young man, who is a comedian, went on a 9-minute rant where he blasted Mo as a bad mother. Not a 9-minute rant, child. Let's go.
I am Shalon. I am a stand-up comedian, Monique's oldest son. Um, I guess I felt the need to make this video to just provide some context into this false narrative about her praying to the universe. I need to reconcile our relationship or whatever the hell it is. I wrote it all down so that way I don't go all over the place and get emotional or anything like that. So I'm gonna talk like I'm reading a script, but it's just gonna help me kind of stay together.
That's okay. Go ahead.
But to address the Club Shay interview that she did, where she states that she prays to the universe in regards to reconciling our relationship, as I stated, is odd. My mother and I both know that that is a very false narrative, and I would like to free her of having to continue telling that lie. Faith without work is dead, and neither one of us cares to put forth any effort to reconcile with the other.
Wow.
We are separate, as she put it, because she doesn't care to be my mother any more than I care to be her son. Neither one of us has had the desire to reach out to the other in a very long time, and I don't think that either of us anticipates that feeling ever returning. Speaking with my mother directly, in my experience, will either lead to some odd newfound moment of clarity in regards to how she was as my mother, or she retreats back to daddy to move forward with a conversation. And I'm tired of hearing my mother's truths. Newsflash, I'm not sure if people know, but
Child, we tired of hearing the truth, her truths too, child. If we tired of it, I can't even imagine what Sonny Boy here is feeling, child. Get it all out, child. I appreciate you going ahead and writing it down so you can stay on task. Let's go.
retreats back to daddy to move forward with a conversation. And I'm tired of hearing my mother's truths. Newsflash, I'm not sure if people know, but standing in your truth doesn't make you noble. I'm not sure if people are aware of that. But responding this way, I feel as though it allows me to say my piece uninterrupted. To those wondering, well, why say something now? Call it a form of therapy for me, I suppose. But when her daddy had intentionally stated that they have three sons, but his wife is on the internet talking about the fourth son in a video that has millions of views, that rubbed me the wrong way. But anyway, to inform a child that you are not interested in being a mother at a time when that kid is the only kid, that has the potential to lead a child to believe that you are not interested in them specifically. But to take it a step further, you also admit, my mother had also admitted to me that she didn't do the best job that she could do, um, which would also make one begin to question, all of your past decisions and prior emotional interactions. But to be completely honest and fair, um, those were things that I was willing to get over. Nobody's perfect, we're all human. But my mother showed a clear lack of humility, compassion, and consideration when taking any level of accountability for those things.
Let me just pause for a second here and just say, Monique, I don't know the video that she's referring to, child. I did not listen to that whole damn thing, and I don't remember her speaking about her son. If y'all know, please send it to me. I'll take a look at it, right? Here's the thing about Monique. When you do hear her talk, I haven't heard her speak about her son. The relationship is an issue, it's a problem. I'm trying, we trying, it's trying. Nah, none of it. I hear about Oprah, Tyler, Lee, Precious, Parker's, and all that. Everything else but. Maybe I missed it. Bonnet's Child, Netflix, this, that, and the third. So I'm not aware. So does she have four sons, or are they just saying between her and whatever her husband's name is? Because I refuse to call him daddy. Whatever they got as combining is a total of four sons between them, or does Monique have four sons? I don't feel like looking it up. I don't care. I'm gonna let y'all let me know what's up. The point is that Monique out here running off at the mouth about all these old ass things. And one of the oldest things that she probably should be working on would be the relationship with her son. Because here's my thought process. I agree. Everyone doesn't know how to parent, child. As long as you're not putting kids in the oven and just allowing them to be on their own, you got to do the best that you can do from what it is that you know, right? But you're trying to tell me out of all the relationships that you have in your life, as long as you, meaning Monique or whoever, didn't do anything to your son the way that your brother did something to you, my thought process is that you could get over it and figure it out. Not get over it like forget it and forget it happened, but work towards resolving that. She too busy out here trying to resolve everything else and try to look like the innocent. I don't ever think that Monique is innocent with regard to anything. When she talking about the bonnets, I completely agree. She was nice and my babies, my babies, my babies. And what happened? Backlash. All the women's came after her. Now I know all y'all gonna be like, of course, you just identified. You just identified, okay? This ain't got nothing to do with this, that. It has to do with the fact that she's still talking about shit that's over 15 damn years old, but she ain't talking about nothing that got to do with her daggone son. What could be more important than your own daggone child? Lee, Oprah, Tyler? Monique, you're not getting that money, honey. Let it go. You're only, in my opinion, when you're running off at the mouth, right? What you're doing is you're showing the fact that you can't get over it. The rest of them is over it. They done moved on. Hell, at this point, even Lee Daniels has moved on. You're the one that can't get over it. And if you think that they're just going to come out and be like, Monique, let me give you $1 billion, ma'am, that's not going to happen. So if you're not taking them to court over something that you really can't take them to court over, you probably need to move on. That's why I say she sounds bitter. If your husband is advising you to continue to harp and whine and complain and carry on about this same stuff from well back before, God knows she must be talking about this in her stand up. How long do people think that that's going to go over? How long do she think that people are going to come and to continue to listen to this daggone story? She talking about she doing all this for the babies. She doing all this for the babies, for the ones coming up behind me, for the ones coming up behind me. And you ain't even doing that for your own daggone kid. Child, please. I know a lot of women won't be able to see that part of it. You just want to agree because it's a sis. But as soon as she come back out here and start talking about what you look like in the airport, she gonna be back on the daggone chopping block, child. Tell me I'm lying.
My mother does a fantastic job of acknowledging a lot of things, but she doesn't take accountability very well, and anything that she may take true accountability for, it's only at her convenience, in my experience. But if I had to guess, though, her interest in being a mother probably started around the time that she married her daddy and had his children. But that interest, obviously seemed one-sided, and as it should have been. By that time, I'm in my late teens, so to some degree, the excuse me, the neglect becomes easier to hide or validate. I guess you could say there are now two baby boys in the house, that require attention. But still, during that time, however, I still watched her.
Wait, is he trying to say that the Monique's husband is considered a baby against him? Y'all, this sounds crazy. Is that what he meant? I'm sorry, I got to rewind that because I'm a little confused, child. Hold up, let me just look it up. Pause. What? What? All right, y'all. So Monique has four children, four sons. The two, this one and his brother with somebody named Mark Jackson, which is not the Mark Jackson, I'm assuming from the NBA that she married. And they had those two kids. And then 4 years before Precious, 4 or 5 years before Precious, she had twins herself. With who I don't know because I didn't care to look into it. So she got four sons, and Shalon, whatever his name is one of the oldest ones. So then it's not from Sydney. Them kids didn't come from Sydney. His name is Sydney, who she calls daddy, who I refuse. His name is Sydney. And I don't think that them kids came from him. But maybe I'm wrong. But, she got four sons.
Yes, though, her interest in being a mother probably started around the time that she married her daddy and had his children. But that interest, obviously seemed one-sided, and as it should have been.
Okay, so maybe the twins are from Sydney. Wow. Ooh, Lord, Lord, Lord. I ain't know them people had kids.
And by that time, I'm in my late teens, so to some degree, the excuse me, the neglect becomes easier to hide or validate. I guess you could say there are now two baby boys in the house, that require attention. But still, during that time.
Okay, two baby boys meaning the twins. Got it, child. I was a little concerned.
However, I still watched her enjoy the love and admiration of total strangers more than my own. To this very day, my mother has never expressed to me when, if ever, she became interested in me as her son. That did lead me down a path of questioning my self-worth and struggling to understand the value of a mother in a child's life. In the interview, she also states that she gave me an apology, but an apology to a son from a mother that consciously showed no interest in him holds no weight. There are still women to this day that my mother will give credit to for being more of a mother to me than she ever could. Her assistant, my cousin, being one of them. Every time, though, that my mother would state that she was right here whenever I was ready, that ideology still blows my mind today, that a person could openly admit to being an uninterested, not put my best foot forward type of parent and be so self-centered that they still express to the kid, you have to come to me when you're ready. You got to come to me for us to make this right.
So let me go ahead and jump in right here and say, I can understand her saying that if when she is tried, and I'm just going off of not knowing nothing, okay? Just assuming that Monique did try and Shalom wasn't ready, or, he had some feelings, whatever. She tried to mend the relationship. He wasn't interested. To get out of my face. I ain't got time, blah, blah, blah. You can only bang your head against a wall so long, okay? So if that's what happened, and then she's like, all right, well, then I'll be here for you whenever you're ready, because clearly you're not ready now. And I'm not going to continue to bang my head against the wall. Let me be honest with y'all. I wouldn't do it either. I will definitely try. I will reach out. I would encourage conversation, invite you here, invite you there, do this, do that, whatever, whatever, whatever. But I'm not going to spend my whole life trying to reach out to somebody who is just not interested because that's how it goes. That's another thing that happens with Black people. They don't want to go ahead and recognize and realize is that sometimes you just can only do what you can do. You can only do so much with someone who is unwilling. If come on now, y'all, we got to do better. Therapy is a thing, and the community does not utilize it, and it needs to be utilized more and more and more as we listen to people come onto the internet thinking that this is the therapy that they need. Oh Lord. I don't hear Monique out here talking about the relationship with her son. I'm only going to say one because it's only one speaking, as much as she talks about her issues with Tyler, Lee, and Oprah.
Okay. But I'm not sure what my mother could possibly think that she has shown me in the past or have for me now that's not money, goodness gracious, that would make me want to come to her or whatever those feelings are supposed to be. Um, a mother is supposed to be the first woman that a boy falls in love with. I loved my mother very much, but my mother loved things more than she loved me, and she would
Mm.
validate her love for me by giving me things and would proceed to call me ungrateful or inconsiderate if said things did not have the desired effect.
Mm.
I couldn't imagine what it's like to be her, though, to ask God for what you want, and then He gives you what you need, though, only for you to ignore it and have the audacity to ask God for something else.
Come on, Audacity.
And I'm glad I don't, glad I didn't do that. Um, and when He told you no, you went to the universe instead. By no means, though, do I want to give off any type of an impression that I am a victim of anything.
Okay. Thank
That
you.
is not the case. As you can see, I'm smiling from ear to ear. I'm alive. I'm happy. I'm a dad. I'm healthy, I think. I drink a lot of water. I'm getting over a cold now. Um, I still have my days just like everybody else. And, there were a few things that she did teach me along the way. I did learn how not to love from my mother. I also learned to make sure that I never lose so much of who I am that I have to validate it through another person. Um, and though I
Mm. He must be referencing Sydney, because she certainly does like to talk about Sydney, don't she? She certainly like to cut and talk about him, her manager, her husband, the mother name she want to call him. Again, I hear more about her husband, Tyler, Lee, and Oprah, Precious, and everything else more so than I've ever heard about any of her daggone kids, child.
feel as though, in hindsight, I think she did it reluctantly. I do appreciate my mother, for showing me what the top of the mountain looks like. You know what I'm saying? It did give me perspective on what hard work and dedication can get you, but I don't want something like that at the cost of giving up something that I created. I don't want it that bad. And speaking of creations, I genuinely, truly, I really did want my mother to have a relationship with my daughter. I even fought through those intrusive thoughts that were, if she wasn't interested in you, what makes you think she's going to be interested in your kid?
Exactly.
Um, but it took my mother no time at all to prove that those intrusive thoughts were correct. But what I can say, good for her, the universe did, bless her with three other sons, bless her with three other sons, and God willing, I'm sure that one of them, all three of them are adults now. So I'm sure that one of them, God willing, if not all three of them, will make her the grandmother that she wants to be. Um, I still look forward, to that moment for her. But overall, when it comes to the boys, though, I am happy that whenever they do hear me talk, sorry, my phone did something weird, but no, but whenever they hear me talk, um, they don't know what it is. They can't relate to what it is that I'm saying. My experience with my mother is not their experience with our mother. So my prayer for her and them is that they continue to see her the way that they see her now. I do also want to make sure that I say thank you to my mother for giving me life Without that moment in time, I wouldn't have had my little one. But outside of that moment, there isn't anything that either of us has to offer the other. In my opinion, it's a waste of God's time and the universe's time for praying for something that you are not willing to put forth any effort to obtain. Putting the work into becoming Monique is more important to my mother than being my mother.
Mm.
And I do not believe that it was never about her being there and waiting for me, but it was supposed to be about me being there and waiting for her. Um, my mother's value had reached such a low point in my life that I no longer found it necessary to either want to wait for her or even go to her. But like I said, man, I'm super grateful that she has the opportunity to do it all over again. I'm happy for her. I hope the Cat Williams tour goes well, but the narrative that she prays for us to reconcile is a false narrative. It's not real, and I'd appreciate it if she stopped saying stuff like that.
And there you have it. What is his name? Shalom? Whatever his name is, child. He didn't say what he said. But here's the thing about Monique and this child, and I don't even know about the rest of them, right? We certainly do hear about her again with regard to everyone in the industry. Imagine if she took half of that energy that she had on Club Shay Shay, half of the energy that she has when she's laying out DL Hughley, half of the energy that she was using when she was talking about DL Hughley's daughter when she brought that up that first time, and she did. Maybe if she spent half of that energy as to what she puts into her husband and what he says and what he does and how it goes and all those type of things into her child, then maybe there would be a different story around here. Not with regard to her career, but with regard to what this child right here just said. But somehow, some way, that just gets trotted to the side while she's out here doing all this stuff for the babies. I love us so much. I love us so much. Monique, go love your child, okay? I love us for real. I love us for real. Girl, mm-mm-mm. Child, you can't make it up. You can't make it up. Anyway, that's it. That's all. Because there's really nothing else to go over at this point. From what I understand, of course, Monique and her husband responded. I mean, in this type of a case, why would you come to the public with this? This is the other problem. Take your crap to a therapist, a doctor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, something instead of the damn internet. I'm pretty sure that you probably could have reached out, meaning Monique, to your damn son, especially after he done did this, and had a conversation since you want to have conversations so bad, but somehow, some way, it seems like allegedly, if it ain't bringing in no coin, then it's not a conversation you're interested in having. So, anyway, we shall see where it lands. Good luck to this child, Shalom, whatever his name is, and less of Monique talking out here out loud to the public because we do not care at the end of the day. That's it. That's all. Hit this daggone like button. Make sure you comment, subscribe if you are new. I'll see you all in the next one.
We do not care.